Welcome back to the Cardmarket YouTube channel where, we're not doing gameplay. Today we're rating your cards. We asked in a community post, which you only saw if you're subscribed. Maybe
if you didn't see it, think about what you did wrong.
Yeah, you should have subscribed. Anyways, we asked for your custom designed cards and we're gonna look at them today. We've got a mythic champion here, so he's, I don't know, he's
also
really...
a hobby designer.
Yeah. Do you design your own cards?
Yes, I did.
All right, in that case, you've even got practice. I think my only design cards are like 10 years ago and were really bad. Let's get into them.
Card number 1, but before we get into the cards, this is actually how we do it. We have a number from 1 to 10 for design. We include everything in design that we kind of think is fun, good, powerful about the card, right?
Yeah, like, could this be printed, right?
Yes, could this be printed? Is it too powerful? Is it fun? Does it make sense? Is there like a story or whatever you want to say about it? And then according to the grade, if we give it 10, I mean, it's perfect. We wouldn't change anything. And if we gave it a 4, we change something, right?
Yeah.
All right, card number 1, Helix Elemental. White, red. 3/3, lifelink. Evoke, red. When Helix Elemental enters the battlefield, deals 3 damage to any target.
So this is an obvious throwback to Lightning Helix, right? Because if you evoke it, it's a sorcery speed Lightning Helix. And if you don't evoke it, it's a 4-mana 3/3 lifelink. That's basically a Flame Tongue Kavu.
Right. Do you want to start off?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm a be real. This is a 9 for me. This is a really nice design for me. The only thing that's like missing here is some novelty or some extreme fun thing that makes me want to play with this card specifically.
Right.
This is just a well-designed card. It doesn't inspire me to do something, but all the rest I think hits all the notes. It's powerful enough for current designs. It's not too powerful. It clashes with Omnath. I'm not even sure if this would be played currently. Probably not. I don't know. But yeah, that's a 9 for me.
I like it as an uncommon. Like it's clearly an uncommon flavor. Which is also like if you put it in Mythic, you couldn't print it like this.
Yeah, exactly. It has the theme evoke, elementals incorporated. Yeah.
Yeah. I gave it a 7, and I think the major thing that really strikes me as annoying for my eyes is it doesn't have flash. I want it to have flash.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be Lightning Helix.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
You give them this is a Lightning Helix on a stick. Well, make it Lightning Helix.
So would you try to make it Lightning Helix? Because honestly, at that point, I feel like evoking it for 2 mana is overpowered at that point because I don't want to power creep Lightning Helix.
It's power creep, yes and no, because you still, I mean, obviously it's kind of better because you have the option, but also having an instant and sorcery is good for like Snapcaster mages.
Yeah.
I think the major advantage is you could actually play this in like living death decks, because then it costs 4, so it doesn't get by Cascade.
Yeah.
It could be that it's too strong, but
Our next card is Altar of False Gods, made by Anton, and it's a 0-mana artifact, indestructible, and it has sacrifice a creature. That's it. I love it.
For me, this is a 2. And
a 2?
Yeah, a 2.
I immediately wanted to put down a 3 and at 5. I ended up at 5.
So I have many reasons. Obviously, the card is meant to be something broken. Like, I assume it's just sacrifice a creature, do nothing, and it actually says do nothing, right? But the way this is used is never for anything fair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the creator actually said it's for unfair stuff. But then 0 mana sacrifice a creature, you can actually see that in the modern design. They don't allow this anymore. Like
Visceroseer was the best kind of sack thing in modern for the longest time, and in Legacy you have stuff that produces mana, and that's just not a good design.
Usually all of those cards now have the clause can only do it once per
or
turn.
Tap it or pay mana. Any of that is usually.
There's just nothing coming. You can like fetch it with Saga. It's an artifact that costs 0.
Yeah. You can clearly tell this was a card made to play with. Like you had an idea what you want to play, and then you made this card.
Yeah.
Which, funnily enough, I love the flavor. I was like, well, this is clearly made to play with. The flavor isn't great. Wait, the flavor is amazing. People just stupidly pushing all their resources, sacrificing it to the gods,
and
nothing happens.
I can see that. I
love that.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you that this is a card that just pushes a certain thing you want to do, and it's too easy. You're not being clever. Like,
no, exactly. You don't work for it. It's just, I don't want to work for it. That's why I want to print the card.
Exactly. So no.
Okay, card number 3, Firemind's Failure. 2 blue-red enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast instant and sorcery spells from the top of your library. Exile top 4 cards of your library, draw 2 cards, and exile 2 cards from your hand, unless you exile an instant or sorcery card from your hand. You may only play instant and sorcery spells, and for 2 blue-red double destroy Fireman's Felly.
All right, I give this a 3 for multiple reasons. There's an easy way to abuse this for a deck that doesn't care about the restrictions, right? This isn't clearly an exit card. There's so much instant sorceries, and you can just activate it to empty out your library. I really dislike that because I play this card, and if I see this card, I assume my opponent is doing instant and sorcery things, but instead they're just exiling their entire library to play Thassa's Oracle or something.
Yes.
But I do like the idea of a callback to Experimental Frenzy in an is-it way. So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I also don't like it at all. I think it's really a failure. Not being harsh, but for me it's a 2. It just doesn't add up. It's forced. It's not elegant, you know?
Yeah.
It's very wordy. It's very needy as a thing. I do like the technique they added that you can destroy it. When you're going to get rid of it. I feel it's way too strong that you can destroy it. I mean, as you said, you can just exile. Right now, you can just exile your library. It's gone. You don't need to do anything for that. Also, you can get up in cards.
Yeah, you can freely get up in cards, especially with the double-sided things from Zendikar. Like, you just include those as lands, you'll never brick on that effect. You can just exile stuff. I love the fact that this is burning cards as quickly as you can, because that has a very madcap scientist kind of vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna burn 4 cards from my library and then burn 1 more, and that's cool, but currently not in this state.
Yeah, I think you really have to change the exile top 4 cards to something that is not as extreme like this.
Yeah.
So maybe just exile the top card of your library. You can do this once each turn.
Next up, Devouring Mass. It's a 1 green 0/0 that gets +1/+1 for each card in your graveyard. And for 1 green, you can exile 3 cards from your graveyard to create a token copy of this exact creature. Toffel, what's your grade?
I gave it a 9. I love the card.
A 9?
A 9, yes. The only tiny thing I have to criticize, it doesn't feel like a mass devouring.
I gave this a 3.
A 3? No, I love it. So I mean, the flavor is awesome. It grows and grows, but then you can also split it, make it weaker to copy it. It has like a pack red vibe, which gets out of control quickly, which is great. As I said, I love everything. I think this could be just done like this. The only thing that I find a bit weird is the Devouring Mass doesn't it devours your graveyard, gets smaller. If you devour, you get bigger. So the name gets me a little bit off, but I think that card functionally is awesome.
Let me tell you everything that is wrong with this card, Toffel.
All right.
First up, why is it mono green? Why is there a mono green card that cares so much about your graveyard and then also messes with your graveyard? Like, yes, I see how each of those effects is somewhat mono green, but this screams green-black to me.
It could be green-black, but
I think
it doesn't
needs
need
to be.
It doesn't need to be, no.
Secondly, I'm a bit worried about balance here, because each card without a restriction in your graveyard can get very big very quickly. And then it also has the pack rat thing where on 6 mana, you cannot kill this creature, right? Normally, big creatures are restricted by being weak to removal.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I'm not certain about this balance issue.
Card number 5. The Hangman's Caress. 2 blue, black, red. Legendary, artifact vehicle, haste trample. Pirates that crew the Hangman's Caress are skeletons in addition to their other types. Whenever the Hangman's Caress attacks, it gains +1/+1 for each skeleton you control. Crew 6, the Hangman's Caress can be your commander. 3/3.
All right, I'll give that a 5. How about you?
I gave it a 6. So why did you give it a 5?
Yeah. So there's a cool thing going on here. There's a very flavorful thing going on here. This pirate ship that has dead pirates on it. Very cool. I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. We've all seen it. It's a great theme. Pirates and skeletons go well together. But why does it have to be so wordy? I very much see the flavor of pirates turning skeletons. That's very flavorful, but the reward is nowhere to be seen. The reward is you crew a vehicle for 6, and then you attack for 3, and let's say you tapped 3 creatures which then are not attacking, and then it becomes a 6/6? Like, that's just not very powerful for a 5 mana artifact. The other, let's get to the final line of text. The Hangman's Curse can be your commander. Awesome flavor for a ship that turns your, it's a cursed ship. Of course it can be your commander. Yes, it's very unique and legendary and stuff. It even, it acts as kind of the commander for earlier pirates. They all live on there. But then the power gets in the way. Yeah, you're jumping through hoops for the sake of jumping through those hoops.
Yes, I agree. That's the same reason. The flavor is actually very appealing, right? You look at the card and you want to do what it wants to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What I felt, maybe you can do something with Undying. So I thought about when a creature crews this vehicle, it just gets Undying. However you word that, you would do that. Which means then, well, if they're alive and they die, they come back. So that's not a skeleton per se, but kind of the undead mechanic. I think there's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just the execution is a bit.
Absolutely. Next up, Ferris Wheel, 3 and a blue or a black. Each player may sacrifice a creature. Each player who sacrificed a creature discards their hand and draws cards equal to the greatest power among creatures sacrificed this way. What do you think, Toffel?
So I have two conflicting things. Somehow the card really speaks to me, but just everything about the card is wrong, I feel. So I don't know why it's a Ferris wheel, like what the connection behind is that. I don't know why this card is blue. I don't know why, you sacrifice a creature, and then when you sacrifice it, your opponent also sacrifices something and gets paid off by you sacrificing something bigger, and they don't even have a choice because it's May. It's like, I feel the card has some cool thing going on where you want to sacrifice something and give your opponent, and they get maybe punished for it, but I don't see it executed in this way.
Yeah, so what grade did you give it?
A 3.
All right, I gave it a 5 because I too see a cool thing going on. It's obviously named a Ferris wheel because it's a wheel of fortune. But the mechanics of the card are so weird. In tournament Magic, if both players have to sacrifice a creature or discard a card or something, the active player makes their choice first, right? So your opponent will know what you're sacrificing, and then they can make a strategic choice as to what they're sacrificing themselves. This will get really messy, so yeah, I'm not sold either.
Card number 7, Catharo War. 1 blue, white. Creature jellyfish. When Catharo War enters the battlefield, exile target creature. When Catharo War leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. 2/2.
I love it. It's such a cool design. And I don't think we've seen something like that before. Like, we remember Angel of Serenity or something. That was also exiling stuff and then returning it to hand. How is this not printed yet? This is so close. 1 point deduction because it exiles target creature. I don't feel like this kind of effect would ever be able to target itself. That's just not.
I mean, they did make the mistake with Hostage Shaker where they said target creature, where they clearly meant other creature.
I mean, in this case, it bounces itself, but still, that doesn't seem flavorful. But yeah, 9 for me.
So I also gave it a 9. Love everything about it.
Yeah, I like it. This card's just awesome. I love it.
So far, my favorite.
All right, next up, we've got a very special card. It's the Fixed Black Lotus. Wow, fixed? 0 mana artifact. As the Fixed Black Lotus enters the battlefield, tap it unless you control more than 5 other artifacts. Probably means it enters the battlefield tapped. Yeah. Anyways, you tap and exile the Fixed Black Lotus, and you pay 5 life, and you get 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool. Toffel, what did you think?
I gave it as many points as it costs.
Oh, wow. You were brutal. I at least had the decency of giving it 2 points.
No, I mean, it's obviously clearly not fixed. It's weaker, naturally.
It's weaker.
But let me tell you, a Lotus is still freaking good if it comes into play.
Absolutely broken. Just imagine this. Also, it feels even worse because this has the kind of Ether Vial thing going on, where if you drop it turn 1, it's the most broken thing you can have. And if you drop it turn 5 while being pressured by a lot of creatures, then you can't even activate it.
The mana pays just well enough for the 5 life if you put it on those turns.
Let me tell you, if I was to start at 10 life every game of Magic, but I get to play with Black Lotus, I'd take that deal.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, it's just trying to fix Black Lotus. I mean, look at Lion's Eye Diamond. It's really hard to fix a Black Lotus when you like made this happen.
Yeah, no. So if this was intended to be a joke, submitted by The Real Deal, by the way, if this was intended to be a joke, that's a funny joke. If this was intended as a seriously design that you would present to someone like in a job application or something where you want to design Magic cards, 0 out of 10. You're getting fired on the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Korean Stampeder. Green. Creature, Elf, Ranger. 1/4. Ward. Tap an untapped creature you control. Whenever you cast a creature spell with no abilities, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them that have no abilities and put the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Creatures with no abilities you control get +2/+2. Many stuff. What do you say?
A lot of stuff. I gave it a 4. I have heavy balance concerns here. This, alongside a bunch of 1-drops with no abilities, just feels like this will never land on a spectrum that's fair. Like this will never be just one of the decks in the format, because if this sticks and you build your deck around this and it's powerful enough, then this will not be fun to play against. You're resolving 5 triggers a turn, each of which produce a 3/3 for 1 mana. And why would I sit down to play a game of Magic against this? No. I gave this 4 points because I see heavy balance concerns here. This card is either way too good or just unplayable, but I don't think it'll ever just be one of the decks in a format.
I feel the idea was clearly to make like the no ability stuff worth it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, and I like that idea.
You're right, the poor designer of this card is falling into the trap of us like breaking every card naturally in our mind. I mean, you went with 1 mana cards. I just wanted to play Mem Knights and Kobolds and Phyrexian Walkers, which are 0 mana, do nothings, right? And obviously you can cycle through your deck instantly, which is not good.
Yeah, also, oh my god, playing this on turn 2, Mem Knight, your opponent doesn't have a sweeper on turn 3, you attack them for lethal.
Yes, that's not good. What I really like is the ward. This is because you're right, ward should be manageable.
Yeah.
But I feel like tapping a creature should be manageable. If you decide to play a deck without creatures, that's your fault, you know?
Okay.
It's like, I mean, you're going out of your way to not play a creature. Well, that's not your problem. Magic is played with creatures. So if your mandatory thing is to have a creature, well, have a creature, you know? Or deal with a 1/4 that you can attack with.
Thoralf Severin, claiming that Magic is supposed to be played with creatures while winning the Mythic Championship by slamming Karn on turn 3.
I attacked with Ruma. If I needed to get rid of a creature, I would have tapped him to destroy this elf.
All right, last but not least, the price is right. Blue-green 1, a sorcery. Draw 1 card and place it face down in front of you. You and target opponent guess the converted mana cost of the card. Flip the card over. The player who was closest without going over the mana cost may play the card without paying its mana cost. If the card is a land, you can't cast lands. The player with the least amount of permanents in play gains control of the land. Shuffle the Price is Right into your library. Toffel, what'd you give it?
So obviously it's an homage to the game show, which I think is kind of well executed in that idea. All the other thing is just bad. I gave it a 2, which I have many questions. For example, what happens if you have the same number? Like, because it says that player is the closest without going over. Was that me or my opponent? Like, do we have to then take the next card and then guess this one until somebody breaks the tie or something?
Yeah.
There's
a cool idea.
Not also the idea, but all of those like guessing and little mini game card get me tickle little, you know, like. But that card is just nuts.
Toffel,
yes.
I gave this card an 8.
An 9.
I think you missed something.
Okay.
This is hopefully, I hope, at least in my mind, this is clearly an uncard. This is printed in the next uncard, and for that matter, I love it. It's perfect for an unset because it catches all the stupid things you do in an unset.
It even caught you.
It even caught me. Obviously, there are some things that are a bit weirdly worded. What if there's a tie? Drawing a card, maybe shuffle your library beforehand, you know, experimental results or crazy results. There was a Simic card that did similar, and you shuffle your library beforehand.
Unexpected results.
The extra phrase for the land is kind of awkward. Why do we have to split the land? Like, I just should have guessed, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have guessed 0 if I want a land. So there's some stuff wrong, but as an uncard, I love it.
Okay, well, there you have it. Your 10 cards that we rated design-wise. If you want to participate in one of those, well, first, the thing you have to do is like and subscribe, because if you don't, we think it's a failure and we never do it again, which I think it was very fun.
Yeah, it was extremely fun. And then, of course, keep an eye on our community feed, because that's where we will be gathering the suggestions if we do that again.
Yeah.
But for now, this is it, and we'll see you in the next video.